some exercise, Dolores, okay?
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm. To the front. 1, 2, 3. To this side. 1, 2, 3. To the front again. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Again. Good, good, good. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
From the time we're born, we start aging. And even though we don't want to think about it, all of us are growing older. We used to count on family members to care for us, and that is no longer always possible. So we're increasingly relying upon professional paid caregivers to do that work.
Good morning, Miss Dolores Bennett. Good morning, I see sunshine. Yeah. Be careful where you hang, honey. Okay. Do it slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay.
It's gorgeous to see sunshine.
Yeah, darling.
We're so fortunate.
Take your time. We want to have a shower, and after that, we want to have a breakfast. What you like to have? My name is Belma Rosa. I am from Costa Rica, Central America. I came to America 6 years ago and started cleaning houses. But now I take care of elderly people. This is a lady, 92 years. Okay. She is my boss. I am working 2 years for her. She was a woman totally independent. She never married, don't have children.
It's cold.
It's cold. Yeah. Try it now. That's better. Yeah. When I started working like this, I find her in the floor, totally naked. In the beginning, she wants only a few hours care, and she fell down. The doctor says she needs 24 hours care.
It was really frightening to see this bright, independent woman not being able to do those basic things. Dee was kind of an early feminist, as that was her identity, was always her job. It was very difficult for her to finally retire at age 90. But she wanted to stay in New York. She wanted to stay in her apartment and didn't want to come to California. It was really challenging from a distance.
Hello.
Hello. Can you see me, Dee? Are you able to see me?
We see your face, and you're looking pretty unhappy.
Well, I'm happy to be looking into your apartment. Isn't that something?
Modern invention is working.
It is working. Well, I heard from Vilma that you were having a little trouble with your eye. How is that going? Is it feeling okay now? Is it better?
This Monday, she have appointment by the ophthalmology. I guess I sent you that email.
Yes, you
so
did.
We wanna go there. I guess it's better to check, but anyway, she's doing good.
I can tell.
I wanna tell you.
I just so admire these women who are helping Dee. I did stay with Dee at one time when she had chemotherapy, and it was the most difficult thing I ever did, honestly. As much as I love her,
Remember when we're gonna go inside someplace,
Well,
put your hands
This
in your
is
belly.
the place to hold on to while I'm riding. So, this is not as well designed a chair as other people. Every uneven place in the pavement jolts me. And so, if there's anything in the way of the pavement,
You will feel it. You will feel it because you are alive.
I love you. I'll see you when I get home tonight, okay? If it's not too late, maybe we'll go get an ice cream. Okay? See ya, buddy. You good boy. I'm Lori Bahajak. I have 5 children and 5 grandchildren. How you feeling this morning? Not too bad. All right. Are you ready then? Move this stuff. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Move your feet. Okay. Larry has COPD and emphysema. He only has 10% use of both his lungs. It's okay there. I got it. He's been on a lung transplant list for 5 years. Without a lung transplant, he's gonna die. Okay, whenever you're ready. Just don't run my feet over. Give me a second. You're stuck here. Okay, back it up. Spin it around. Stop. Oh, you have your hose? Yeah. Okay, go forward. You ready to switch? Yeah. How'd you sleep last night with that power failure? Yeah. Somebody hit a telephone pole, so we had to bring a camper in and run a generator so Larry's machines could run so he wouldn't die from not having oxygen. Living in a rural area does make it a little more complicated for safety. Let's check your sugar. Larry gets care from 8 o'clock in the morning to midnight. Otherwise, Larry would be in a nursing home. And Larry does not want to be in a nursing home.
I don't really think he would have lasted even this long in a home. He doesn't want to go to a home. In the beginning, it was very stressful. The agency that we were with then, you didn't know who was coming. I didn't trust that he was going to be well cared for. But now, as long as I have the help of Lori and the other attendants, he's better off here. He gets to see his grandchildren. He's happy here.
There's a lot of stuff I like to do, but I can't. Well, it's a nice day. take my wheelchair, go for a ride around town. Okay. That pool there is pretty cool.
I prefer to work in a home setting because I'm more of a people-on-people kind of person. Helping take care of Larry, it makes me feel like I've done something right.
Okay.
Here you go, the Sturtevant Files. My name is Tony Siegel. My husband's name is Peter Sturtevant. We've been married 29 years. I don't even know where this was. Do you?
I don't know. I wish I was a little more lucid.
It's a picture of you traveling with Reagan. Do you remember that?
Several trips with Reagan. Well, I had a good time. There's no doubt about that. Been around the globe a dozen times or more. Witnessing news. Standing next to history.
1, 2, 3, push. Stand up, Peter, straight up. Stand up. The temples in your leg, right? Peter has a particularly vicious form of Parkinson's disease. 8, 9 months ago, he came home from the hospital and it became pretty clear that he was going to need constant monitoring and constant care. We're going to go to the wheelchair. Okay? He was in a nursing home for 2 months, and his condition just completely deteriorated. I think it would be a death sentence to him to put him in an institution right now. Then I'm going to say bye to you. Have a good day. Bye, Mommy. Bye. It was unimaginable to us that we would have somebody living with us all the time.
Finish?
But after a while, we all began to realize Peter was extremely dependent on them. I was extremely dependent on them. All of a sudden, I wanted, like, you're not going to quit, are you?
The hospital, I'm thinking. Oh, did it just come? Well, that's part of the prednisone. Arm up. Up, up. And you have some over here, too. Arm. He's been trying to be a good soldier for 5 years. And then I'll say, well, Larry, you want this lung? We really need to push. So I fight with him to move his arms, move his legs. Can you pick it up? I've just got to be that little person saying, come on, Larry, let's go. We got to go. You're not going to get better if you don't fight. Okay. Oh, shit. I have a puddle, don't I? Did you see that smile? He likes when I goof up. Yeah, I know. It won't be the last. Foot up. Bend it.
People don't realize just how stressful this job is. It takes everything you have. It wears you down.
You're getting air? He's really deteriorating, and it does break my heart.
Dolores, oh my God. Dolores, where do you want to go, Dolores?
I'm just cooperating.
Yeah, Dolores, but you don't have shoes. Okay, come in here and sit here because I need to put the shoes in your boots. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
situation sometimes a little bit hard with dementia because you don't know what is going to happen the next 10 minutes.
Can we take the other walker? The doctor don't want you to walk a lot, because you can bleed very easy in your legs.
Yes, but
What
I'm
I
used
want
to walking
you-
with that.
Yeah, Dolores is gonna make it more easy for us.
Well, more easy for you.
No, it's not more easy for me. I don't care about what I have to do. I care about what I can do for you. If you can stand there for me, please. Okay?
But what do I have?
You just have to sit here and we want to get off to the building.
I don't like having somebody telling me that it's time for me to go to bed or to buy groceries. Just a minute. But I probably don't have the know-how to run this house like a house by myself. I suppose that's the reality of it.
Here you walk.
To the bed.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Every elder person have the right to have the real attention, the real care. Because you want to be older too, and you don't know what is going to happen in the future.
Good night, my angel.
Thank you. And have a pleasant dream when you finally get it.
Okay.
We're going down to Philadelphia to see the transplant doctor. Larry's heart's enlarged because of not exercising. So we have to get him back to where he was. 1, 2, 3. If Larry gets taken off the transplant list, he might not come back. You getting there?
But you want to take me off the list. Within 6 months from now, if I do my 600 feet walk, I'll be back on it. Keep me in my heart, I think that I'll be able to do it sometime.
Good morning, Miss Nina.
want them people to get this place fixed. I can't take this no more.
Well, you know you gotta be patient, right?
I ain't got to be patient. I've waited too long.
My name is Dolores McCray, born and raised in Brooklyn. I've been a home health aide since 1989. I love doing health work. I go beyond my job description. It's fun because you get to meet different people. Turn, Christina. I'll show you. Hold on. This is a woman that used to do a lot of things on her own. Now she don't like to go out so much, to be in a wheelchair, and she has someone pushing her around. She don't like to be seen because of her condition.
Coming up sideways.
It's okay. You always come up sideways. That's because your bed is sideways.
Alright.
The family main concern is she's being taken care of, so they could go to work and don't have to worry about the grandmother.
Like them about to run away. I know, right? No matter how much you give me a hard time. You ain't never had a hard time yet. Wait till you get a hard time. Oh yeah, you're gonna get one day. That's true.
Got nice hair, Miss Nina. Your mother had long hair too?
Her hair was wavy.
We're looking at a workforce and an entire industry that has not been recognized as a real workforce. People don't even recognize it as a real job oftentimes, and our labor laws certainly have excluded this workforce time and time again from basic recognition that other workers take for granted.
Get your shirt on now.
Mine tastes like baked beans. Hot dog and baked beans.
Oh, yummy.
Hey, mommy, I put my ketchup on my cheese. Yeah, on my hot dog.
See if Daddy's up? No. I bring home $302, which isn't a lot of money. I wouldn't be able to support myself if it wasn't for my fiance. At $302 a week, that wouldn't pay my rent. I don't have insurance because I can't afford what they offer. I feel we're underpaid because we have a lot of responsibility on our hands. I'm not thought of as a care provider because I'm in a home.
The median income for a home care worker, personal care aide in this country is $13,000 per year. There is not a single town in this country where you can survive and pay your bills, let alone support a family, off of $13,000 per year.
I came here because I married an American guy. I was thinking I will become a citizen. Don't come true. Because my husband become disabled and I can make enough money for doing my papers. Te extrañé, mamito. Oh, sí. My husband passed away 3 months ago.
I wish I could have my green card when my husband was alive. Now it's gonna be more hard for me.
¿sí?
Quema todo este dolor, Santo Espíritu de Dios, transfórmame. Que me ayudes, Padre mío, a que mi hijo David, Señor, venga a este país lo más pronto posible, Señor, sobre la vida de mis hijos, Señor. Yo te pido humildemente, Señor, que cubras mis hijos, mi casa, mi familia, mi simiente, Señor. It's okay. Okay. Be relaxed. Doing the healing, okay?
I'm impressed. It really looks like it's healing.
I am more impressed. It's hard for me to believe, but I can't believe it because I see it day by day. Close your beautiful eyes and breathe and be relaxed. Remember, okay? Okay?
Relaxed?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Okay,
But
okay.
happy? Yes.
Breathe. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was thinking when I get my green card, I can bring my son David over here and he can attend the college. I don't know now if this could happen. Hola. Hola. Tomorrow, my son, he will be 18 years. It's very hard because I can kiss him, I can get it in my arms, and I really, it's a shame, you know.
I'm gonna do this shirt. Let's put it like this. Okay, that's better. When the Sandy storm hit, our place was destroyed. We didn't have no place to live. I'm a hard worker, and I work no matter what. But I don't have savings. And I have an 11-year-old. He had to go live with my oldest son because I'm staying in a hotel through FEMA. This is my last week here. I have to be out because there's no more funds to pay for me to stay in a hotel. Where I'm going, I don't know where I'm going. I'm angry because being a home health aide, you're not getting enough money. I think we should get paid at least $15 an hour. The cost of living. I make $10 an hour. I still have to postpone Tyreek from coming home. If he come home, where he coming to? He's not allowed to go to a women's shelter. He's not even allowed to come to the building to even ask the security guard, can I see my mother? Because they would tell him, even though he's a kid, you got to get out of here. You can't stand here. They very cruel in the shelter system. When you're working, they give you a lay pass. So if I'm there after 11 o'clock, they already know because it's in the system that
That you have
I have
until two.
yes, I'm working and I have a late pass, but I still have to wait. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I still have to wait till they do the bed count. Then because I have a late pass,
Yeah.
I can't just go in there and take a shower.
How are you managing at work? How do you take the focus off of you having to, at the end of the day, go to a shelter and then go and be able to provide the kind of care that your client needs? Dealing with her personal problems and the whole family network.
I look forward to that. That makes my day. I'm at work, you know, this is my future. This job is going to take me to get my own apartment.
Good night and happy holiday. Dolores is a very strong woman. She stands resilient. It's hard to picture because she is a person who genuinely loves to provide and cares and nurtures people. Why did this happen to her? Where are we as a society?
The fact that the fastest growing workforce in the country earns poverty wages is a huge problem. The conditions of work are so harsh. It's like the Wild West. But it's not only the Wild West for workers where there's no standards or guidelines or training or supports, but it's also a Wild West environment for families on their own, struggling to afford the home care they need. The system that we have is not working for anyone.
So we're going to be talking now about some beautiful things, some joys, right? The caregiving as a calling, aging as a process that we all go through, and we're also going to talk about some difficult things. You can speak very, very honestly and intimately here.
I was a caregiver and I was a care recipient. I was diagnosed with leukemia. Having no insurance at all, it scared me to death. I was not crying or scared with my sickness, but I was crying that I cannot pay the bills of the hospital.
My story is that we were just ordinary, my husband and I were just ordinary people living our lives until we ran into some extraordinarily bad luck. And in his mid-60s, my husband was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And today he has 24-hour care. I'm basically running a nursing home in my apartment. And it's bad enough watching somebody you love deteriorate that way and trying to help him understand that his life still has meaning. But then it's really bad when you know that you're going bankrupt because of it. All right. Stand straight.
Be careful now because I'm going to tell a lot of dirty jokes.
You gotta hang in there. We've spent as much in the last 12 months on the AIDS as I have earned in the last 4 years. We've worked all our lives, both of us. Peter has a small pension, but mostly it's 401ks. The only thing we have for sure is Social Security. We could sell our home. We could, I don't know what we could do. And sometimes I'm walking down the street and I'm starting to blink and I'm thinking, this can't be, this isn't happening. But it is. Move your left foot over to the left.
Oh, come on. I'm feeling worse by the minute here. Tony?
Yeah?
I'm not going to do this. I've tried to talk myself into it 10 times.
I'm just getting a wheelchair. At least if you get in it, we can wheel you to the bedroom if we need to. You think you can get there?
What I don't want to do is cross into the park and start having these spasms all over the place. It's dangerous.
can still just go out and get some fresh air. You don't even have to get out the wheelchair if you don't want to walk. You have enough strength to stand up?
I'll try.
1, 2, 3. Alright, one more time. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Alright, good.
Hold it. No.
Toby. Sorry. I'm sorry, Peter.
That's all right.
It's not working. Huh?
Alright, we just need to get you to the wheelchair.
Hi, Vilma. It's Sean Malachowski, your lawyer. I reviewed the case, and we finally have enough evidence, so I'd like to submit the case. Thank you.
I have been waiting for this moment for 6 years.
Did you need the ID of my country too? Oh, okay.
I can't believe finally this is happening.
Mami.
Sí. Hola, bebé. Acabo de recibir mi green card y sígame la corriente.
Wow.
¿Verdad? Está linda mi green card, papi. ¿Ah? No es que linda.
Tranquila, mami, tranquila.
Te quiero mucho, mi amor.
Tiff had called me to come down and help her because Larry had slipped onto the floor and she couldn't get him up.
At that point, he was still fine. Then in a little bit, he smiled.
He passed away in my arms. I don't know what I'm doing here, Tiff. I open the door and the chair's there, and I'm like, hi, buddy, and my buddy's not there.
You were our family, and you always will be.
Sure hope of the resurrection to eternal life, we commend to Almighty God our brother Lawrence H. Larry Dobson, and we commit his body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Amen.
Salute our departed comrade, Larry H. Dobson.
I can't believe he's not here. For almost 4 years, 40 hours of my week was dedicated to taking care of Larry. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I think I could maybe care for somebody else. I'm not sure. The whole finality of caring for people is very hard. I don't know if I can handle that.
We finally got onto Medicaid, and I thought it was fabulous news. And then we started using it. We have had a very hard time finding aides who work with Medicaid who can handle a complicated case. One of the problems is that they're paid so little. They're required to work a 24-hour shift, but they're not paid for the night. They're paid $140 a day. Do the math. That's less than $6 an hour. The aide that they sent, she's still nervous around Peter, and I feel that the agency's really fallen down. Because if they're supposed to be training her, they're not training her. And it's very clear that the first day on a job, somebody's going to come in, I think the nurse, they said, and show her around, make sure she understands what she needs to do. You know, give her some opportunity to succeed. And Peter said, please don't leave him alone with her. He's afraid of her. I can't have somebody who he's afraid of, and I'm getting to be at my wit's end because I just don't know what to do.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he can do walking in the morning. It depends on how he feels in the morning, though. Yeah.
One of our caregivers, Edith, was private and now is continuing with us.
And we also need this weather is not so great.
Edith is here 3 days a week, 72 hours. When Edith walks in on Tuesday morning, Peter's whole face lights up.
It's hard to leave your own bed to come stay in somebody's place. It's not like when you're doing 12 hours. You come, do your home care work, cook, and then leave. You know, you go in direct to your own house. But here, you're staying with somebody. You know, you're staying in their house for 24 hours. And then you have to wake in the middle of the night when the patient is not sleeping. If the patient needs you, you have to go attend to the patient. But you also have to be compassionate. I don't want to feel guilty, said, if I leave Peter, it will deteriorate. Just a minute. Be careful with your eye. Okay, put it up. You want me to help you a little bit?
Would you please?
Some aides are kind of passive, whereas the ones who do better, they see that their job is to make the life of the patient better.
When Larry passed away, the healthcare agency said that they would give me time off to grieve and that they didn't have any available work for the month of October. And then they tried to fight my unemployment. And I got a call for just a fill-in position. It wasn't like having a permanent position. My work now is to haul blacktop or stone for roadways in Pennsylvania. I make $5 an hour more than I did as a caregiver. I have full benefits. I have a 401k plan. For the first year in 20 years, I have health insurance. But I really enjoyed taking care of Larry. there was a whole relationship, because where now I really don't have a relationship with my job. It's routine. I do what I'm supposed to do. I make roadways safer for a lot more money than what it took to take care of Larry. Larry was very traumatizing for me. I did go through a phase of depression. That was hard for me. It was hard for my family. If I think about Larry, it bothers me because I miss him. Tom.
Now that I have my green card, I'm not afraid anymore. I can help my family and undocumented workers. We still working in the shadows because caregivers is not seen as a profession. Sorry, it's a profession. I want to be part to something to create change for all the home care attendants in this country. Domestic Workers United es la organización que cuida de nosotras, todas las trabajadoras domésticas, las babysitters y las home care attendants en todos los Estados Unidos y aquí en New York. Y las personas que no fueron la semana pasada no están inscritas en ese training y tienen que generar más dinero. Me imagino que todas tienen hijos, ¿no? No se preocupan por su futuro, nadie va a venir a preocuparse por el de ustedes. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Vilma Rosa. Llámeme, por favor, entonces, ¿ok? Bueno, gracias. Parece bien. Es lo de siempre, es lo de siempre, pero a pocos tiempos, pero sí depende de the worker is not happy. If you don't have enough money, how you can do your job? That means we need to work in a new legislation in favor of the workers.
The best caregivers who actually want to be caregivers don't stay in this work because they can't sustain in it. If we invest in this workforce, not only in terms of wages, but in terms of training and professionalization, bringing the workforce out of the shadows, they can be a huge part of the solution. They can help us manage chronic illnesses. I mean, what better prevention than caregivers?
What does it mean for care in our society to be thought of as a private responsibility? Yeah, Rochelle?
What it means is that people without family who've survived, beyond the rest of their family or are alone, and they can no longer take care of themselves, they fall between the cracks.
Home health care agencies, they charge more the clients, but they don't increase the pay of the caregiver.
So, we have some big questions to answer as a community, as organizations, as a movement, and as a country, right? Which is, how do we want care to be thought of and approached into the future?
Whether I'm in, a rural town in Pennsylvania or I'm in downtown Los Angeles speaking to a room full of caregivers, everyone is concerned about the same thing. How are we going to take care of each other?
What day is today? See, I'm so out. Thursday. This is a Thursday. Yeah, ma'am. Thursday, 14th. Okay.
So the remaining option is for her to sell her home for the money to continue the care.
This is the most difficult thing, to make her understand that it's not possible to stay there indefinitely, and to get her to accept that.
It's just such upheaval for her at this point in her life. It's just,
there might be an immediate downturn in her health.
but if we could still have Vilma,
Yeah. That could make all the difference.
Yeah.
But she is just going to be shattered. Who knows? She might make this think that somebody's stealing her apartment.
it'll be great to see her. It was so painful to think of Dee having to leave her apartment. So my mother loaned her $50,000, and then again 3 months later about $50,000. It's a tremendous amount of money to my mother. Not quite half of what her total life savings is.
It looks like party time around here.
Vilma! Oh, wonderful Vilma. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you. We're here. We're here.
Good to see you. Oh, yes, it's been much too long.
Yes.
You're looking very, very good.
Well, I had somebody doing special things to my hair. I like it.
Yeah. You don't look like an extra birthday.
Well, I am an extra birthday.
And we're glad to
Still a
have
couple
them.
days. Very nice, okay?
So where are you living at now?
I'm in Brooklyn,
That's
New
a tier
York.
two.
That's a tier 2. And it's a 2-bedroom apartment.
And how has that been since he's back home with you?
It's great to have Tyree home. Yes, I love the little man.
Good.
Yes.
That's nice.
And I can see how he's developing and he's growing.
And how are these hours helping you in this whole
It's a
transition?
lot, Denise. It's great. It's wonderful. I have enough time to get home early before my son.
Yeah.
So I could do dinner, either laundry, or maybe take care of other things that need to be taken care of.
Okay.
Like still looking for the apartment. I found a couple of places, but they so far.
Yeah.
I would have to quit the job and relocate. But then that means I would have to leave cooperative, which, that's not going to be easy.
Okay, so
Dinner and
Yeah. I understand that.
some pepper? Bell pepper?
Yeah.
Smells very good.
All right. I'm going to go check on Peter.
There were too many unbelievably fabulous cooks in the kitchen. Yeah, so I came to keep you company. But I'm going to be setting the table in the meantime. Personally, I think that we're all of us imagining it isn't going to be us. And it isn't going to be the people we know. I've learned that ability is a temporary thing in all of our lives. If we live long enough, we will be disabled. And I don't think there's the kind of think tank stuff going on that says, how do we start from the beginning? How do we reinvent this? I'm sorry, Peter?
Yeah, you got a point there. I feel like I've been part of something and I wanted it to be a success. I wanted to be a success.
And you did it.
Well, I'm happy that you feel that way. That's what I consider we're spending our time for.
Another one? Well, let's move on.